So hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Louise, I'm a third year archaeology student and I'm currently making a game based at Avebury for my undergraduate dissertation project. I thought today I'd take you on a bit of a day in the life. I've not really got anything planned, I'm just staying at home, working on my dissertation, doing some other uni work, doing some other bits and pieces, and just documenting it for you to follow along. So for those of you who are new here, like I said, I'm making a game for my undergraduate dissertation. This game is currently called the DGK Illustrations, named after Dennis Grant King, who was an illustrator who worked on site during the 1930s excavations at the archaeological site of Avebury, which is in Wiltshire, and this is the largest, one of the largest henge monuments we have. It's the largest stone circle in the world, with two smaller stone circles inside, and then the village of Avebury running through it. And I'm doing this with the Avebury Papers Project, which is an archive aiming to digitalise and share the archive that was created, especially during these excavations which were under Alexander Keeler. As unfortunately they were cut short by the outbreak of World War II, and then with Keeler's ill health, they never really were written up or fully explored as much as they could have been. And part of the project is, creativeness and how we can use archaeology to learn in creative projects and how we can learn from this and what this sort of reveals about different sites. And yeah, so archaeogaming is a big subdiscipline of archaeology, and that is just basically the archaeology of games, archaeologists making games. It's a really big field that I'm hoping to do a whole separate video on what it actually is. But on the screen you can see here is where I'm currently up to with my base game map. So I'm trying to take the Avebury Henge Monument and put it into 16 by 16 pixel art format, think Stardew Valley, and make it a place where you can learn and explore Avebury through the Avebury Papers Project. And we're getting there, so I'll give you a little tour. So I'm going to refer to this in quadrants. So the road that goes through Avebury neatly divides the henge into 4 different quadrants. So we've got the northeast, northwest, southwest and southeast, so just bear that in mind throughout the video. And my tile map looks very different to what it looked like even just a week ago, and I'll put some pictures on the screen. So I've completely rejigged it and brought it all a bit closer together, because Avebury is huge. You can't fully comprehend how big it is till you're there. And I'm trying to make it as to scale as possible, but capturing the feel and making it fun to explore, and just trying to find that balance between it. This is the northeast quadrant. I'll put a picture of how this used to look on the screen about now, so you can hopefully see that it's come in a lot. It's a bit cozier because I'm going for a cozy feel with my game, but we still got all the stones and the key buildings. And this is the cove, which are a set of really big stones. Are originally 3, and these are in the northern inner circle, which you can kind of see that would have gone around here. And then they've got the outer stones, but there's not too many in the northeastern quadrant. Then we'll move over here. So this is the northwest quadrant, and we've got the stone here because of the Swindon stone, as this is the road that goes up towards Swindon. And we've got a lot more stones here, and you see these little things here. These are just plinths, so these were placed by Keeler where stones would have been that have been destroyed. A lot of them were broken up to use in buildings in Avebury, so a lot of them have sarsens. And yeah, then here you have the Red Martin pub. There aren't 3 of these in real life, these are just placeholders for buildings that I'm yet to draw. And there's quite a few buildings that do run around this, but for the purpose of my game, I'm going to try and scale it down a bit. So here I'll put a picture up on the screen. We have what is the National Trust Museum, which is inside a barn, and that's going to sit here. And then further down the way in real life, we have the Alexander Keeler Museum, which is a converted stables, which now houses a lot of the Avebury material. But I think for the purpose of my game, I'm going to move that to here to fill this space, just to not have a load of buildings going to do absolutely nothing, keep it a bit more simple. So that's going to be going there. Then moving down to the southwest quadrant, we've got all the stones running along here, a few plinths. The substone here is the Barber Stone, which is where the medieval burial of what was originally thought to be a barber surgeon was found. Might do a separate video on that soon though, so not too many spoilers on here yet. Oops. And this leads into the southeast quadrant, which is looking a little bit different. So this is the southeast quadrant, and there's this beautiful drawing by Dennis Grant King, who I said is the illustrator who is the player of our game. And let me get this bigger. This is this drawing. So this was done in August 1939 by King, and it's a top-down cartoon of the excavations that were going on in the southeast quadrant. And this drawing is what originally inspired my game idea, this top-down, this fun, cartoony style. It's where the entire palette comes from. And there's some great details here, so I'm going to zoom in. This isn't the best quality version of the image, as this was edited for a video. This is a excavation in progress, and this is a member of the MIAR staff dealing with unwelcome visitors. Mr. Cook gives a stone wash and a brush up. George Bates re-erect a fallen stone. DGK sits in a stone hall making lines on a block of paper. The caravan, in which when it rains we need to think. We go and we need to think very hard. Mr. Young attempts to take a measurement tape. Mr. Keeler takes photographs from the top of the diving board. The caterpillar, which was Alexander Keeler's cart, in which we go to work every morning. And Druid the horse, who removes the dirt and some of the buildings. So this is the drawing I've been working from for the last few days, and taking these fun cartoon elements and just putting them straight into the game. So here you can see we've got the stone being re-erected, got a broken stone in the trench, and I've been figuring out which stones these are now at Avebury, as Keeler re-erected a lot of the stones, and trying to make sure I'm putting the right ones into the holes. And I think I've done that. And you might notice that the stones all have number names. This is based on a numbering system that was created by Isabel Smith, who did look over all the Avebury material. So I'm using the exact same archaeological numbering system in my game about the stones. And I think I'm going to do a separate video about all the stones at Avebury, because some of them have some quite interesting stories. Then this trench needs, I need to add the diving board, of course, and I'm going to add the caravan and horse here, which is hopefully today's. Then these grey blocks are some stones that need to go in, also up there. Then the whole stones will actually be done. And this feature here is a peculiar feature called the Z feature, or Z feature, which you can see being excavated here. And I've got another drawing, let me get that up, of the Z arrangement. And I have a whole video on the prehistory of Avebury that I'll put up somewhere here if you want to go watch this now. But this is an intriguing feature that Keeler discovered, and it's quite rectangular. And Keeler thought this was a medieval cart shed, but for reasons I won't get into here, we've now actually said this is a Neolithic, early Neolithic house that they think is the very, very centre of the southern setting of Avebury, so the southern inner circle, that eventually the entire monument sort of echoes out from this one spot. So sort of the origin of Avebury. And I'm going to try to catch that here with some sort of gameplay. And yeah, that is where the tile map is currently up to. I'm hoping to have that finished this week. It's currently Monday. Then finally get into adding the proper gameplay elements. But I'm really happy with how it's coming along. So today we're going to try to add these stones and these stones. That's priority number 1. And then maybe some of the caravan and the horse before moving on to the last few two buildings. And I need to do the back sort of facades of the houses. So when you're looking at them from the back. Yeah, that's quite a lot of rambling update about the game, but I've not done an update in a while. And yeah, so let's crack on drawing some stones. I have been going live on TikTok doing a few of the stones, so I might do that as well this afternoon. So I went live for about half an hour, and it went really well actually. They've been quite slow going, but that one was really nice. It was only a short half an hour session, but I got lots of people who were engaged. I had a TikTok that did okay yesterday, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I drew one stone on the live, stone 103. And I'm just now going to show you how I've been tracking my progress with the stones into what is eventually going to become some sort of bigger, sort of art piece almost, or something in the game. So this is a map from this book here, Exploring Avebury by The Essential Guide by Steve Marshall, which has been an absolutely great resource for my game, for my research. And yeah, the map is in here, and this is a fusion of several maps really, but quite a lot of it you can see the stone numbering system. And this stone numbering system was by Isabel Smith, and it's using these and just tracing where they are. So in the green ones we've got evidence of burning pits, so I mentioned before I think that a lot of the stones were burned to break them up to use for building material, or some people thought they were pagan, not things we wanted around anymore. Then the red ones are standing stones, whether they were already standing all the way through, so they were re-erected by Keeler. Purple ones are ones where they have been excavated, and it was found evidence in it. There are now those concrete plinths for. And then the circular ones, little circles, are possible locations of stones where we think they will be from survey, process of elimination, that sort of thing. And then, so I'm only drawing the ones that are red, that are still standing, we can see today. The blue ones are fallen stones that haven't been re-erected but are still visible today. And what I've been doing is I've been taking the pixel artwork I've done, and I've been putting them just on top of the stones where they are to keep a good track of them. I also have a spreadsheet of all the assets that I needed to do. And this helps me visualise where their location is in real life and then try and replicate this into the game map. So for example on here, if we move up to the... you can see that the location of these ones is sort of in a sphere. It's hard to visualise because it's not right here. And then these ones are all still kind of sphered like they are actually at Avebury. It's just like a way of incorporating actual archaeological work and research and using it for my game to try and create the most accurate Avebury possible. So it's been a really interesting way, and I think gives you a bit of an insight into the process. And I'm hoping to, once I finish the stones, which we're not far off, make this into sort of a mini map for the game, make it into a print for myself, sort of a poster of a pixel art map of Avebury. And yeah, I hope that's a bit of an insight into sort of the process, something a bit different. And it's helping me do it all to scale and stuff too. So one sort of tile in my game, I'm trying to equate to like 1 meter for a stone. So DGK in my game is just under 2 of those tiles, so about just under 2 meters tall. So the stones are sort of to scale to him. And that's sort of how the process has been going, how the progress has been working. So this is the one that's being re-erected in the southeast cartoon, stone 105, yep. I need to go and edit that drawing to have it of just a stone, but I'm going to put it in as it is for now, just so I know I've actually added it to the game. And then this is stone 103, that's the one I did this morning. And I'm going to actually scale up all this artwork and print them out at some point soon as well. But I'm going to wait till I've got all the stones done, just to make sure a bit more better resolution. This stone here is called the vulva stone, as it's sort of thought to depict a vulva. And people think this may have something to do with fertility. It could have been put to with people because it represents that. There's also a theory that some of the stones are female and some of the stones are male stones. So the sort of longer phallic shapes are the male stones, and the square ones are female stones, which is just another theory that was put forward by the archaeologists in the 1900s. Then this feature here is the Z feature, and I'm not sure how to handle this because Keeler re-erected stones into this that don't quite match up with the stones holes that the excavations found, and we now know this is actually probably an early Neolithic house that I'm hoping to put into the game in some way. So I think I might leave that how it is and not do the plinths or anything here, and just try and make my own sort of more artistic interpretation of an Avebury across time. Because while the gameplay is set in the 1930s, I want it to sort of branch out across time in the game. I don't want to limit it to just being in this time period and being completely accurate. As when you're taking it out of a medium, you can play around with things like that. You can play around with different elements, you can bring things in that won't be there in real life, and if you're doing a creative piece, I think it's best to put as much creativity as possible. That's enough rambling on. So I've got 102, 101, the ringstone, 198, 77 and 78 left to complete. And it's just gone lunchtime. I reckon I can do that today. So that's the plan. I think I might go live again actually, and hopefully check within you when all of these stones are done, or I decide to do something else. So it's now almost 4 o'clock and I've done quite a bit today. I went live again and I've done these 3 stones, the Devil's Chair stone. So now I just have these 4 left to do, so not too much left to do stone wise now. Feeling a bit tired, but let's get up here. So I'm thinking I've got this one to do now, which is stone number 1. And then these 2 are 77 and 78. And then that's the ring stone, which is just a very small sort of stump now, so it shouldn't take too long. But this is the Google Maps view for stone 77. There isn't one for stone 78. But apparently they're like just sticking out the ground. But luckily in my book there's a picture of each of them, so they should be okay to do. It's just, starting to have to get a bit more imaginative with my ideas. And then stone 1 is one of the entrance stones alongside this one, which I have pictures of, as it's that one left to do. But yeah, it's going pretty well. Made good progress today, and making good progress across the board, and the lives went really well too, which is always good. I would really like to have all the stones done by the end of the day. It's definitely possible. I'm just getting a bit tired, so I might need to stop throwing stones for a bit. But yeah, it's been a good productive day. I'll have to also go and add the collision masks to every single stone, which is going to be a little bit time consuming, and all the buildings. Then it'll just be the 2 buildings to do, the backs of the buildings that are here, and then just change up these trees and things, and then move on to the next few bits. And the progress over the last few weeks has been immense, so I'm really, really happy. And I've been getting a lot of interest over the past few days, so it's all going accordingly to plan. Just need to crack on. So I just brainstormed loads onto the whiteboard just to get out some thoughts, ideas, everything out, just so I've got some more clarity. I'm gonna try work on the stones this evening while watching telly, but I don't think I'm gonna vlog anymore or do too much more as I'm feeling quite tired. But I hope you enjoyed this day in the life, a little bit of insight into what it's been like working on my game as an archaeologist. If you've got any questions, let me know, and be sure to watch some of my long form content on parts of Avebury. I've got a video on the prehistory of Avebury, and yeah, got lots of exciting stuff in the works. So yeah, please subscribe, like this video, and comment anything you want me to know. Thank you for watching.